Hello viewers, today we will explore the B-2 stealth bomber, America's invisible sword of the skies. In a sky watched by satellites and scanned by radars, one machine flies unseen, like a ghost stitched from silence. It doesn't roar, it whispers, it doesn't charge, it glides. When it appears, it's already too late. What it targets is already gone. The B-2 Spirit is not just an aircraft, it's a weapon of psychological dominance. Built in the secrecy of the Cold War, born for nuclear apocalypse, and forged from stealth. But today, with powerful radars scanning every inch of sky, can this $2 billion phantom still remain invisible? This is not just about a bomber. It's about a race between the hunter and the hunted. Before we dive deeper into the shadows of war, help us shed light on military history. Subscribe to Tale of Wars so we can reach our next mission goal, 10,000 subscribers. Every subscriber fuels the fire behind these epic stories of machines, men, and mystery. We're building a battalion of history lovers. Join the front line, because every ghost has a story, and we're here to tell them. Hit that subscribe button now. Your mission begins here. In the 1980s, the Cold War was nearing its climax. Soviet missile fields expanded like iron forests. American bombers couldn't survive deep penetration missions without being detected and destroyed. The US needed a platform that could fly straight into the Soviet heartland, drop nukes, and escape undetected. Stealth became the ultimate weapon, not by firepower, but by invisibility. Northrop Grumman was tasked with a mission: create a bomber that could hide in plain sight. Thus began the most secretive aircraft program in history, shrouded in black budgets and underground hangars. The result? The B-2 Spirit, named after the elusive nature of its very soul. The B-2's form was shaped not just by engineers, but by mathematicians, physicists, and even sculptors. Its curves were defined by radar modeling software that barely existed in the 1980s. The aircraft's shape must deflect radar from every angle, even when banking, climbing, or diving. Even the paint is weaponized, composed of layers designed to absorb and scatter radar waves. Thousands of hours went into perfecting wing edges thinner than a surgeon's blade. The final prototype was assembled in total secrecy at Area 51, flown only at night, guarded by armed patrols. This wasn't just engineering. This was art cloaked in national survival. It's the most expensive aircraft ever created, each unit costing over $2.1 billion, including development. The R&D alone cost more than the GDP of some countries, reaching over $45 billion. Originally, 132 units were planned, but only 21 were ever built due to astronomical costs and the Soviet collapse. Its stealth coating alone is so sensitive, it requires a climate-controlled hangar for preservation. Every flight hour demands over 100 hours of maintenance, delicate, intricate, and costly. But for the US, that cost isn't just about metal or fuel. It's about owning the sky. The B-2 is less a machine and more a symbol of unreachable air power. The B-2's stealth isn't just a cloak, it's a symphony of science and structure. Its flying wing design eliminates vertical stabilizers, reducing radar reflections. Buried engines are cooled and masked from infrared detection, invisible to heat-seeking missiles. RAM, radar-absorbent material, lines every inch of the aircraft's surface, turning radar into silence. Its edges are smooth and exact. Panel gaps are razor-thin, minimizing radar bounces. The cockpit glass is radar-resistant, and its radio emissions are heavily shielded. This aircraft doesn't just fly low, it erases its presence from the very spectrum. But stealth is not invincibility, it's delay, not immunity. And radars have caught up. VHF and UHF radars now operate on longer wavelengths that stealth coatings can't fully absorb. Russia's S-400 and S-500, China's JY-27A, all boast long-range, multi-frequency detection capabilities. Overlapping radar nets, satellite-aided detection, and AI-driven pattern recognition threaten even ghost-like aircraft. Quantum radar experiments aim to detect stealth by measuring particle disruptions, still theoretical, but menacing. The sky is getting crowded with eyes, and each one sharper than before. But seeing a ghost and shooting one down are two very different things. Stealth is no longer just radar evasion. It's digital warfare. Modern adversaries use data fusion, linking satellites, radars, and drones into one hive mind defense system. The B-2 responds with electronic warfare suites that jam, spoof, and silence enemy eyes. It uses terrain masking, flying low and hugging valleys to blend into background noise. Pilots train for weeks in simulated environments to exploit every gap in radar coverage. In the era of network defenses, stealth means mastering the shadows between machines. The B-2 doesn't just dodge detection, it dances through digital webs. What good is stealth without precision? The B-2 carries 40,000 pounds of death, guided with surgical accuracy. It delivers GPS-guided JDAMs, bunker busters, and even B-61 nuclear bombs with pinpoint strikes. It can strike within meters of the intended target, even from 50,000 feet in the air. In Kosovo, it was the first to use JDAMs in combat, turning reinforced bunkers into rubble. It hits hard, fast, and without warning. Accuracy is not just strategic, it's psychological. Targets know the bomb is coming, but not when or from where. That terror, that unpredictability, is part of the B-2's invisible arsenal. Kosovo, 1999. B-2s flew 30-hour missions from Missouri to Serbia and back, non-stop. Afghanistan, 2001. B-2s launched the first airstrikes after 9/11, obliterating Taliban command centers. Iraq, 2003. B-2s struck Baghdad's most fortified bunkers with bunker busters, deep in enemy territory. Libya, 2011. 3 B-2s flew 6,000 miles to destroy Libyan air defenses in a single night. Every time they returned without a scratch, never detected, never targeted. They strike from halfway around the globe and vanish like shadows at dawn. Not one has ever been shot down, and not one has ever been locked on successfully. But even legends have flaws. The B-2 may be stealthy, but it's not invulnerable. Its stealth skin is delicate. Weather and rain degrade it, requiring constant maintenance. Thermal sensors and satellites can still pick up its heat signature on clear days. It has no self-defense systems, no flares, no guns, no evasive maneuvers. If detected, it's an enormous flying target with no way to fight back. Only 20 units exist, so any loss is not just tactical, it's strategic. Its greatest strength, stealth, is also its greatest dependence. Time catches all machines, even ghosts. The U.S. knows the B-2's cloak is thinning. Enter the B-21 Raider, the next-generation stealth bomber, smaller, smarter, and more survivable. Built using lessons from the B-2 with enhanced stealth, AI capabilities, and modular payloads. Its cost is lower, its range is farther, its maintenance significantly reduced. The Raider is made to fly into tomorrow's wars, where sensors are everywhere and silence is survival. Slated to replace both the B-1 and B-2, the Raider continues the legacy of invisible dominance. But for now, the skies still belong to the Spirit. The B-2's secrets birthed an entire generation of stealth. Drones, fighters, and even naval vessels. The F-22 and F-35 trace their radar-reducing lineage back to this Batwing ghost. DARPA's black projects, from stealth helicopters to future unmanned bombers, all follow its spectral footsteps. Even enemy nations, China's H-20, Russia's PAKDA, mirror the B-2's iconic silhouette. In its shadow, an entire philosophy of war was born. Strike first, unseen, and unchallenged. Though it was made for the Cold War, it is reshaping the battlefield of tomorrow. Its legacy is not just in what it destroyed, but in what it inspired. The B-2 is not just a bomber, it's part of the U.S. nuclear triad. Unlike missiles or subs, the B-2 is recallable, giving leaders flexible, manned deterrence. It flies with B-61 and B-83 nuclear bombs, ready to deliver Armageddon at a moment's notice. Its role is not to start a war, but to prevent one through the fear of precision annihilation. As global threats rise, so does the need for aircraft that can vanish and reappear in enemy capitals. From North Korea to Iran, the B-2 is not just an asset, it's a warning. One that flies without being seen and strikes without being heard. The B-2 isn't deployed randomly, it's a chess piece moved only when the king is threatened. Stationed in Missouri but able to launch global missions without forward basing, it is the long arm of American policy. In peacetime, it's a deterrent. In crisis, it's a first responder. In war, it's an executioner. Its presence in Guam or Diego Garcia often signals silent escalation. Wars are sometimes deterred by the whisper of wings, and when diplomacy fails, the B-2 doesn't knock. It cuts through silence and leaves fire in its wake. Nations take note, not because they see it, but because they know it's there. That's power. That's policy in motion. Why America doesn't share the B-2 stealth bomber. The B-2 is like a ninja in a battlefield of searchlights, moving silently, unseen among a sea of sensors and radars. But such stealth comes at a price. Its secrets are the most closely guarded in America's arsenal. The U.S. refuses to share this ghostly power because in the wrong hands, the shadows it casts could turn into blinding lights. This aircraft is a cornerstone of U.S. military power, designed to operate unseen behind enemy lines and deliver both conventional and nuclear strikes with absolute certainty. The technology inside the B-2, from its radar-absorbing coatings to its secretive avionics and software, represents decades of investment in innovation. Sharing this technology risks exposing it to adversaries who could learn how to detect or defeat the bomber, stripping away America's stealth advantage. Even trusted allies are not given the B-2 because the risk of secrets leaking, intentionally or accidentally, is too high. Moreover, the B-2 is deeply tied to America's nuclear deterrence strategy. Distributing it would complicate global arms control and could destabilize fragile international peace. In short, the B-2 is not just a plane, it's a guarded symbol of power and secrecy, one that America keeps firmly under its own control. So can modern radars see the B-2? Sometimes. Can they stop it? Not yet. For over 30 years, the B-2 spirit has haunted the skies, a whisper in the wind, a shadow no enemy could touch. It was never designed to win dogfights, but to end wars before they begin. Today, the world is catching up, with smarter radars, faster missiles, and artificial intelligence peering into the darkness. And yet, the B-2 still flies, silent, undetected, deadly. Perhaps the question isn't whether the B-2 is still untouchable, but whether any enemy dares to reach for it and risk what comes next. The ghost may be aging, but it hasn't faded. What do you think? Is the B-2 still the king of stealth, or has its time finally passed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read everyone. And if you enjoyed this dive into the shadows of modern warfare, stay tuned, because the next tale might be even darker.